That shit on the headlight.
Talk about our opponent. They're bigger, faster, stronger, more experienced. And they know it too. But I want to tell you something that they don't know.
Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. Hey, when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. 'Cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one.
Welcome to FINS TV, along with co-host Sammy, along with co-host Steve Hallett and Sammy. Welcome to another edition of FINS TV. Steve,
Sammy, how you doing, buddy? Happy Tuesday.
we're matching.
We're in the playoffs.
We're in the playoffs, and we're matching.
Come on, we are matching. I know. We got the memo. We got the memo
today. It was a great weekend, a great victory for the Dolphins. It had a Super Bowl feeling, a Super Bowl atmosphere. If you ask me, that was a huge game.
Absolutely incredible. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. Oh, I mean, I'm always nervous. Hell, I'm already nervous for next Sunday's game. But if I didn't have that really confident feeling, it's another one of those knockdown, drag out, blow for blow type fights. And as we've seen in the past earlier this season, we didn't really come out on top of those. But this time we did. We did it when it mattered against a team that not only had a winning record, the same exact record as us, and we came out on top. And again, we're in the playoffs. That's just what a Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday present, whatever you want to call it. It was an absolutely incredible present for us all on Sunday, and really looking forward to what we got coming up here on the show today as we talk about it and look forward to the next game.
Yeah, with 2 weeks to go. The media keeps changing, moving the goalposts, but we're going to talk about that later. So, on this episode, Heart on the Line, we're going to talk about how the Dolphins basically are putting the heart on the line during the down the stretch. Also, we're going to talk about some overreaction. We'll do some overreaction rewind. We're going to look at some of the recent overreactions and see how they're holding up. And next week, we're going to play an old friend, Lamar Jackson on the Ravens. Ravens put a stump last night on the 49ers. That was a very physical game, but a huge victory for the Ravens. They really proved last night that really tough. It's going to be a tough outfit for the Dolphins. So we're going to start with the Dolphins Christmas Eve showdown with the Dallas Cowboys.
Second down and 1. A little flick. Pollard. And goal it is. Lipke, the fullback again. Ball is loose. Who's got it? Miami recovers. 3rd and 8. 4-man rush. Tagovailoa loads up, going deep for Waddle. He's got it in stride. A bomb to Jalen Waddle. Sanders up and good. These early downs. Second down, Prescott quick throw again. Lamb in stride. Room to run. He's down inside the 20. Makes the move. CD Lamb is going to score. Now on the fake. Tagovailoa loads up, delivers. It is caught. 3rd and 1. It is Mostert. First down and then some. Breaks the tackle. Mostert inside the 15. In motion. 4th and goal. Tagovailoa going to the corner. It's incomplete. Out of bounds. And Prescott in trouble. Tucks and runs. Not going to get there. Chan in motion. Fake to him. Tagovailoa. There's Tyreek Hill. Good catch in the spin. 3rd and 7. Blitz is coming. Prescott sees it. But he's sacked. Tagovailoa. Quick throw again. Tyreek Hill's got a second catch. Racing. Tagovailoa. Gonna swing it out. Mostert wide open. He's got it. Touchdown, Miami. 3rd and 9. Prescott. Pressure. In trouble. Throws it near side. Ferguson. It's incomplete. And what a stand by this Dolphins D. They force a 3 and out. On the fake, Tagovailoa. There is Hill in stride for a first down. Bottom of your screen. Tagovailoa looking the other way. Throwing the other way. It's Hill again. Looking to make a move and then slides down. 54-yard field goal try for Sanders. It is up. It is drilled. Fumble on the exchange. Tagovailoa. Quick throw. And he's got a strike to the tight end. Durham Smythe. He's having a big game. 5 catches now for him. Stunt coming. Tagovailoa gets rid of it. Hill got it. Hangs on for a first down. Sanders from 35. And it's up and true. 4th. Prescott throwing incomplete. And there's a flag. Hang on. Fake. Prescott in trouble. And he is sacked. Oh my goodness. 17th play of this drive. It's Prescott. Pressure in his face again. Throwing for the corner. Cooks. Does he have it? Touchdown, Dallas. First down. Little bobble on the snap. Quick throw. Cedric Wilson's got the catch. He's got 9 yards. Give it to the veteran. Running right. Good seam down to the 15. Wilson. He's going to have a first down. Down to the 10. He's got it. Miami is in the playoffs.
Well, how about them Dolphins? The Dolphins certainly back in the playoffs for the second year in a row. A huge game. The atmosphere was electric. You can see that there were a lot of Cowboys fans on the Dallas sideline, but the Dolphins fans really come through. The atmosphere, they were said to be. I heard your Rose this morning say the atmosphere was electric. It felt like a playoff game, and the Dolphins certainly played to the level that we expected.
2 weekends in a row now, we've had an opportunity to have a great home game. Huge Dolphins fans show out. Can't give enough credit to them. It was one of those things that you could hear the Cowboys fans a little bit when it suited them best. But I never got the sense that, from like years past, 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, where a Cowboys game would have drawn at least a 50-50 crowd because all the Dolphins fans would have just been selling their tickets. So I never really got that sense. Some people were saying before the game that, oh my God, tailgating looks like there's a huge turnout from the Cowboys fans here. I never got the sense that they took over the game. But then again, Miami never really let them take over that game. So it was really exciting. It was a great environment. I can only imagine, for the people that were there in attendance, how fantastic it was to see Jason kick that fifth field goal of the game through, the game winner, with no time left on the clock.
Absolutely. We had a lot of expectations for this game. The Dolphins again checked every single box. The offense was clicking, even though Tua had a rough start. Tua didn't sink at the first beginning. The offense came through. They kept running the ball. The defense certainly made some adjustments. Fangio still didn't put Jalen Ramsey all on CeeDee Lamb all game, but the offense certainly clicked. They made adjustments, and you can see the second half the Dolphins defense really came through.
They had two big drives. Dallas had two big drives. That first one that, tell you right now, I still rewatched that first play on the goal line where Deshaun Elliott makes that stop. And then clearly the next play was a fumble. I think everybody just thought at that point it was a foregone conclusion, 1st and goal from the half-yard line. But an incredible stop that Deshaun Elliott made there to keep them out of the end zone. And then it was a fumble, and it turned out in our favor. But they really only had two drives. That first big drive that they went down the field, and they seemed to have our number on it. Very long drive. I think it took almost the half of the first quarter. And then that other long one that was like 17 plays and on the fade route that they threw to Brandon Cooks for that touchdown for them to go ahead. So, but they didn't put Ramsey on CeeDee Lamb the entire game. I had my eyes on him. I was always looking for where's 88. Oh, he's in the slot. Oh, he's on X. Oh, he's up against Ramsey right now. So I had my eyes on him, but they really seemed to close them down. And again, the defensive front put a lot of pressure on Dak where he wasn't ever able to really get comfortable. So it was good to see that they didn't have to go out of what Vic Fangio said he wanted to do, which was he doesn't want to move Ramsey around. It's the way his scheme goes, but he didn't feel the need to do it, and he didn't.
Absolutely. You said with our private chat, you were giving credit to the special teams. We knocked Jason Sanders a lot during the years we made. Well, I've been guilty of making fun of him so many times, but he certainly came through. Bailey has some incredible punts. The Barrios will find a way to great returns every single time. So it was, like you say, it was a very special. It was a special teams victory, you might say. Yeah.
It really, in all, the game was about as clear cut of a perfect matchup as you can imagine. 2 10-4 teams. Really, the stats of the game showed a 50-50 layout. It was Miami gave up 296 yards. Dallas gave up 299, or that's going into the game. Going into it, Miami was giving up 296. Dallas was giving up 299. We got 375 against them, and they got 339 against us. So, we both kind of had that bend. We were able to bend each of our defenses. It was just one of those games where in the past against Buffalo, Philly, I wouldn't even throw the Chiefs in there because we shut them down in the second half. We just couldn't get our offense going. But where it was a punch, and we finally fell down and we couldn't get back up quickly enough, we went blow for blow the entire game and just were able to pull it out. But, it was a stellar performance. Defense, I can't give it, enough credit in terms of what they've done to contribute to where we are right now in the season. And giving credit where credit is due, hands down, we have given Jason Sanders a very passive-aggressive hard time on here. We don't destroy anybody on here, and I feel like we're fair. They're human beings. They do an incredible career, vocation for that many of us dream of being able to do, but never would be able to have a chance to get there. But we don't put them down. But when they do what Jason Sanders did the other day, 5 field goals. 3 of them over 50 yards, that he's had an incredible turnaround this season. I don't know what week it was, but he really seemed to turn it around. And you said it yourself, Bailey, the punter, 2 punts, averaged 55.5 yards for those 2. I mean, seriously, those are the types of things that we need to be hitting on all cylinders as we hit this final stretch and as we look forward to the playoffs, which Now we're guaranteed to be in. And so we just, we got to keep on refining those things, and you got to hope that they're continuing to make progress in improving it.
Absolutely. The criticism on Jason Sanders is a fair criticism, even for his standard. He used to be a great kicker. All of a sudden, he wasn't playing to his standards. So the criticism was valid. He got paid. He got a very nice contract, and then the production fell. So, you know, uh, like I said, they're professionals. He's a much better player than we'll ever dream to be, even the kicker is the value position. But however, for his standards, he was not the player that we expected after he got paid. So the criticism was certainly valid. So we're gonna Matt Armstrong is traveling. Hopefully he will join us, but we're joined by the controversial Eddie Chaput. Eddie, you should be very happy with that Dolphins victory on Sunday.
No, can't hear you, Eddie. You're on mute.
I completely did a Steve there.
Yes, you did.
Sorry about that. No, I was way too hard on everybody at the beginning of that game. Like, why didn't he have Ramsey shadowing? Then it comes out after why. It's because it would mess up the whole defense if he shadows somebody. It was just, I guess, last week because they didn't know X wasn't going to play until the last minute. Then he said, all right, shadow Garrett Wilson. So I get too mad because I'm so invested in this team. I have been for years. I mean, like, I was mad at Tua, but then you look at the end of the game, his stats, and you watch other quarterbacks around the league. I think it's just that when Tua throws the ball, it's always near somebody. And I think they just had him go back, get rid of that ball as fast as he could, just throw it to a spot because he was going to be under a lot of pressure. And because of the center of that line, and he did a good job. He took one sack. That was huge. Jason Sanders, I cannot say enough good things about him. 52, 54, 57. That's amazing. Even though people don't realize how hard that last kick was to do. And I was worried. I was like, just kick it in the air. They were so close. He still kicked it to the top of the goalpost. He put everything under that ball. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Bailey, we've been on him. He averaged 55 and his long was 58. So the other one was 52. And they were big punts, huge punts. And underestimated in all this is Barrios' 10-yard returns each time. Do you know how long? That's all I have ever wanted. Instead of a guy letting the ball hit and roll 20 yards behind him or fair catching it. When he has a chance, he goes. 10 yards can be a Jason Sanders field goal.
Yes.
Win the game. And I saw Ramsey felt bad. He said, thank you to the offense and to the special teams. He has nothing to apologize for. That was a great throw and a great
Yes.
catch. Great catch. You got to give it to them guys. He's a good quarterback. That's still a good receiver, Brandon Cooks. And I was just ecstatic. This house was going nuts after that field goal.
I watched Bigot a little bit. I don't watch as much, but I watched a little bit Bigot during the weekend. He was trying to say like Ramsey got burned with that touchdown. That was a great throw.
No.
They had a safety under. So I don't know how much more they could have done. And basically, the goal line stands, they were very, very close to stopping more than once. The penalties, there were 2 penalties, so you know that's fair. But we have been so many times on the other side of the coin, on the other side of those calls. So for once, whatever Parsons want to say now that the NFL has it against him, buddy, we had a whole game against the Eagles with no even one call against the Eagles. So shut that up, come on.
Sorry, Sam, but
that's just stupid.
If you look at the game, I watched the all 22. The Dallas Cowboys were holding Chubb almost every freaking play. So they can say about Parsons all they want. It goes both ways. They're not going to call holding all the time. I mean, the only one I thought was funny was where they grabbed the guy by the pants, and it looked like the old copper tone commercial. The dog was biting on the. I was like, wow, they didn't call that.
Absolutely. We have a comment from Raymond Sanders saying, Tua needs to use tight ends more instead of throwing to Waddle or double or triple coverage. That's a fair statement. But the tight end had a lot of nice throws in the middle. They were leaving the middle open, and Tua was certainly taking advantage of it.
I think that was a really good observation. I would like to think that wasn't something that they went into the game expecting, but when they realized the center of that field was open, even on the broken play that Tua apparently has been charged with a fumble by the stat keepers out there on that one where he had the dropped shotgun snap and it turned into a 21-yard seam throw up to the tight end. So I definitely agree, and this goes back to the point that we've said a lot of times on here that there seems to be a predetermination of where Tua wants to go with the ball ahead of time. In hell or high water, 1, 2, 4, 5 different people in traffic back there. Sometimes Tua has a tendency to just grip it and rip it and let it fly. And, and to that point, a lot of times, Eddie, you say a lot of times we just come to the expectation that Tua is going to put the ball on the money and where it needs to be, when it needs to be there. And when that's the case, and this goes to what we were talking about with the Brandon Cooks touchdown, there is very little defense for the perfect pass. And that's what we have a benefit with Tua. Yeah. So often he has the perfect pass, and that was a perfect pass from Dak to Brandon Cooks for that touchdown. Jalen Ramsey, seriously, one time out of how many, since week 8, that he's busted? Come on. But with Tua, this was definitely an off game for him. I don't know what it is. I used to think that it's if he's not at Hard Rock Stadium. I think it's if he's not starting his kickoff at 1:00 Eastern Standard Time. Something's not right. I don't know what it is, but he was off on a couple throws. Even the Mostert touchdown there, the record breaker for our team there, phenomenal catch by Mostert with the concentration there to catch that ball wide open, perfect play call. But he had an off day. But again, you look at the stat line and he still did a phenomenal job. And somebody else that really it's a testament to the team. And you look on certain special teams plays, you see Channing Tindall out there running down the field doing different things. You see a lot of these people that are on our team. Chase Claypool, he's active. He's down there doing different things. But Jeff Wilson Jr., and the one play that will stick in my mind forever will be the Ravens game last year where he busted that big run on that final game-winning drive. And Jeff Wilson Jr. came up huge for us when we really needed him. Mostert was shaken up a little bit. Achane, not too sure, how he's doing, but 2 huge runs, maybe 3 huge runs on that final drive for the Dolphins against Cowboys here and sealed the victory for us. So huge kudos to Jeff Wilson Jr. and all the rest of the non-huge name playmakers that we have on this team, because that was a quintessential team victory.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because the way the format of the NFL on Fox, you can see that bottom line where they keep putting 2 stats, and at first the stats didn't look too good, but you can see them going up and going up. And there was a point that he's gonna reach 300 yards. Had he hit Tyreek on that, it wasn't a perfect throw, but that was a catchable for Tyreek any other Sunday. Tyreek would have had probably 200 yards catching, and it would have been a much different game. Before we're joined by, I think Matt might be joining us in a minute. Eddie, there's Matt. We're going to be joined by him in a second. Eddie, I want to know your thoughts overall. Mike McDaniel. We'll talk about the coach. He certainly made some adjustments. The team, not only on offense, not only on defense, but on offense too. So I was very pleased with the adjustment Mike McDaniel. He really looked like they had a different mindset for the game.
He sure did. He was as laser focused as I've ever seen him on that sideline. There wasn't anything. It was all, here we go. We're going to win this game. I don't know if you guys caught that during the game. That year 3 will be when they start using the tight end. Did you guys hear that?
I didn't.
He said that was from Greg Olson. He said this is a complex offense, and he keeps adding, and you can only add
the layers.
Yes, the layers of offense. Mm-hmm. And if you notice, Smythe's becoming bigger and bigger each week. Mm-hmm. And I love when he catches it because he knocks the crap out of people. And I love it. And Jeff Wilson, can't say enough about them runs to get him for the first downs. They were awesome. And one thing I stuck out, he got a lot of crap for being a bad teammate in Chicago. Claypool, when he made that one tackle, did you see everybody go down there and hug him?
He's sprinting all the way. Yes.
Yeah, if he was a bad teammate, they wouldn't go celebrate with him like that. So this team knows how to. This team genuinely likes each other, and I love it. It's a ball to watch every week.
Absolutely. We want to welcome Matt Armstrong. Thank you, Matt, for joining us. We know you were
sitting poolside in Orlando or whatever island you're sitting on there right now in your background. Welcome to the show, buddy. We're in the playoffs, man.
For the Bahamas, the Dolphins are in the playoffs. We're kind of having a kind of celebration, but I don't know your thoughts about the game. Certainly, the Dolphins came through, like we talked before. All facets of the game, it was a huge win for the Dolphins, Matt.
What can we say that hasn't been said already? You know, the Dolphins have been the choice of every talking head on the planet to denigrate, to call them frauds, to say they're not anything. They're everything under the sun. And when it came to, I know this is a family show, but I'm going to say it, when it came to nut cutting time, they did it. They did it, especially with the effort to stay with the run. Was that was the difference in Sunday's game, in my opinion. The effort to stay with the run. Fantastic finish. I told Steve that at one point there's a couple years, 08 and 16, that we lose. That team loses that game. In fact, Steve corrected me, and he said in the last 20 years of Dolphins teams lose that game. So
100%.
I could not be a happier Dolphins fan than I am today.
Absolutely. So we're going to move to our feature presentation for the week. The Dolphins hard on the line.
The odds to win the Super Bowl, we've got San Francisco at 1, we've got the Ravens at 2, then the Dolphins sneak in there with a big win, Eagles at 4, who Brew has going into the Super Bowl, and then the Chiefs, who have problems scoring, at number 5. 4 now, and shook off the narrative that they couldn't beat anyone with a winning record. Tua throws for almost 300. Time to admit Miami is the real deal. Anyone?
For me, I have to admit that this team is a lot better than what I thought they were.
Okay.
Offensively,
are they the real deal?
They are the real deal. Okay. I'm going to say they are the real deal. And the reason why I'm going to say the real deal, because of what you were talking about, since Jalen Ramsey, this defense has taken it up a notch. They're applying pressure, they're getting to the quarterback, they're creating turnovers, they're getting key stops when necessary. We didn't see that early in the season. More importantly, we saw them as an offensive team. That is no longer the case. Right. They can win close games where they don't score a lot of points because of their defense.
I got to give them some love. When I said they were break dancers and pop lockers, it was before Ramsey got back. Now their defense is good. It's good against the pass. It's good against the run. They still can break dance, but they can fight too.
You are still holding out on Miami. If they just split their next two, you have to believe it.
I have no segue, so I'm just going to say Dolphins beat the Cowboys on Sunday.
They did.
22-20. Exciting game, down to the wire. Dolphins get the field goal. 5 field goals on the day for Miami, and they did what they had to do. They beat a good team finally. Now, something was going to give. The Cowboys were either going to beat a good team on the road. That's the narrative. They can't beat good teams on the road. Or the Dolphins were going to beat a good team anywhere. So somebody was going to be able to say, stick your narrative up your butt after the game, because both were baked in. Both were reality, and one still lingers. The Cowboys can't be.
Yeah! That's right. Yeah! The Miami Dolphins took care of business against the Dallas Cowboys. And yeah! Tyreek Hill seems unstoppable. But
Well, what's the but?
The Ravens are better.
Oh, by far. Way more physical, better quarterback play. They're just a better team, and they flat out, they have a chip on their shoulder. I don't know what the hell the Dolphins, I don't know how they won that game, but they did. But the Baltimore is the best team in football.
I'll tell you how they won that game. Micah Parsons and the Cowboy defense no-showed on the final drive of the game, which is kind of what Micah's done all year long, despite chirping every other team in football.
Ground. And then insult to injury is we backed them up into 3rd and 9 at their 3. And now little Tua has to throw it out of his end zone. And I'm thinking, safety? Can we get to him? Can we fumble him in the end zone? And here's what he does. On 3rd and 9 from the 3, he drops back and goes bombs away over Stephon Gilmore and throws a dime to Waddle. That was his throw of the day. I mean, I don't know how you can do it prettier than that. And they are out of jail.
He runs whenever he wants. Whenever he wants. Home, road, good weather, bad weather. Against the 49ers defense. There's nothing like him on the planet. I don't need to see passer rating. He wins 80% of his games, and he wins big games. People in Miami freaking out. Miami hasn't won a playoff game since 2000. Ooh, we won a home game over Dallas. Lamar Jackson wins games like this every Sunday, home or away. He's 20-1 in his career against the NFC because if you don't see him regularly, you don't know how to contain him. You don't know what to do with him. You've never seen any player like him. And all it is disrespect and doubt. Tua and Lamar Jackson, same breath, stop it.
Eek. Welcome back to Vince TV, our feature for the week. Co-host Steve Hallett, Matt Armstrong, and the controversial Eddie Chaput. I'm host Sammy. Well, the media certainly keeps moving the goalposts. The Dolphins certainly came through. They say that the Dolphins could not win the big game. Now they say they cannot win the big game on the road because they won the big game on the. So it happens. So they're gonna keep changing basically gonna keep changing the goalposts. But the Dolphins. How can you say they mean business after the Titans lost to the FINS. Look back to be playing with a sense of urgency and passion, even when the media gives them no respect, and some fans expected another December debacle. Miami's playing, putting their heart on the line. What's your opinion about the Dolphins? December, gonna start with you, Steve. The Dolphins certainly we had some doubts. We're when the doubts of the Titans here. There was we have faith, we're fans, we believe in our team, but certainly after last year, it was warranted to be worried about the December slump. But the Dolphins really have come through. They're really playing with the passion, with the heart on the line, Steve.
No, they definitely have. And the bottom line about anybody that you showed in the clips there, Cowherd and all them, they're going to continue to move the goalposts. Had we absolutely blown the brakes off of the Cowboys, they would have found some other reason. It would have just simply been, hey, the Cowboys just aren't as good as they thought they were, and they don't deserve to be up where we had them. I think last week's power rankings, like a composite across all the mainstream sports media, had them around 7.8. So I don't know how good of a team Miami needs to beat, but I haven't been driving, so I'm not listening to my usual barrage of sports media radio on Sirius XM. So I haven't really had a chance to digest it. But I'm probably not that upset because really what you showed there in those clips is really the first I've seen of any of the reaction to it. I've just been enjoying the fact that we're in the playoffs now. So, but to your point here, to be fair, Sammy, Matt, Eddie, I've been absolutely petrified. I'm a Dolphins fan who's been burnt by 2 decades of pain, of December collapses, of being in the hunt all too often just to see the cards fall. And then if we, crawl into the playoffs, last year it's without our quarterback, it's without our second string quarterback. And then it's losing by 2 or 3 points in Orchard Park to the Buffalo Bills in the snow. It's so, following the Titans game, we won our first December game since, a few years ago. And then following the Titans loss, I think we all had those questions. We were wondering what's going on here, but they're playing like a team that's possessed. And I don't care what the media says. The narrative's going to constantly be what it is, and people are going to constantly try to move the goalposts on us. But the bottom line is, regardless of the disrespect, I really hope that the team continues to do what they're doing. They are playing as a team. They're playing as a family. They're playing as a single unit across the phases of football. And they're learning to get punched in the mouth and stand back up and hit back harder. And if the offense doesn't play really well in a series, the defense comes in and makes a huge turnaround, gets that ball back for us so we can turn around and do something. Can't make it all the way into the end zone. Oh my God, that you used to be, go back 10 weeks ago, that was a big problem. We were worried. All of a sudden, Jason Sanders comes in. Every single phase of the Dolphins organization is coming together right now at the time when we need them to. And in terms of disrespect, we're Dolphins fans. We're used to being disrespected, but we've all heard the narratives. I think leading into last year, the Chiefs Super Bowl run, in coming into the season, Patrick Mahomes said, hey, we're being disrespected. By who? Whoever disrespects the Chiefs. Tom Brady used to give that crap from New England. Oh, we're being disrespected. Kirby Smart. Bleh. University of Georgia. Bleh. Got to listen to him talk about them being disrespected with their, closets and storage areas full of 5-star talent and everything about them being disrespected. Bull. There is no disrespect coming there. The reality is Miami is being disrespected. And it's up to them to say, you know what? I don't give a damn what you're saying to us and how much you don't want to believe in us. We believe in us, and we're going to prove it. And frankly, they really need to keep it going because they've got a really, really tough matchup coming up here, and they're going to have to prove it. And if they can come out of Baltimore with a win, there is absolutely nothing anybody in the media is going to be able to say that can detract from the fact that the Dolphins are going to be the number one seed in the AFC.
Absolutely. So Colin basically said that that Lamar Jackson is a winner. Breaking news: since November 21st, 2001, Tua Tagovailoa has a better winning percentage than Lamar Jackson. So the understudy who's making those stats for Colin, certainly needs to tell him that. But I'm gonna go to Matt. Matt, you can see the Dolphins. We've been criticize the Dolphins sometimes. Personally, I have criticized Coach McDaniels a lot of times for some of the decisions. But the Dolphins certainly came through this week, and they're really playing with a passion. Someone someone I really care about told me that Bradley Chubb is playing for two people. He's playing for himself and for Jalen Phillips. That man is a man possessed. But that team certainly are playing together. They're picking at the right time, Matt.
Yeah, and to Steve's point about disrespect, maybe they are being disrespected. Maybe it's because they haven't done anything in 20 years. Maybe they need to prove it. And I agree with Steve to a degree. And the degree is that as soon as they beat Baltimore next weekend, the media is going to say, well, they have to beat Buffalo, right? Okay. Set them up, knock them down, one game at a time. They are playing for each other. The whole Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips thing, if that doesn't speak team to you, then I don't know what to tell you. And on that note, bear with me for a second because I'm multitasking here. And on that note, let's talk about how Jalen Phillips was a real kick in the head for us back at Thanksgiving, and we beat somebody. I don't remember. They were non-consequential, but we beat somebody. And the bad part of that was we lost Jalen Phillips. I saw a stat today that the drop off between Phillips to the current iteration of the defensive line is nil. It's basically not even calculable that these guys have had a next man up. The ones who are bugging out about it are us. We've been bugging out about it since day one. We bugged out about the defense. Tua went for 466, but what about the defense? And then they beat the Patriots, and then got this ball rolling and smoked Denver. The people who are bugging out about it are us, and in part because we do listen to the various talking heads, and I know you guys know my feelings on that. But the reality is these guys are clearly locked in, arm in arm. They have a clear, definitive leader in Mike McDaniel, on the sideline running the entire show. And then Tua he's the league leader in passing. What more does that kid have to do? Well, it sounds like they got to go to Baltimore and show that they can win there. And I don't care if they win on a 57-yard field goal with time expiring. Did somebody say field goals? How many field goals has he hit over 50 yards this season so far? Oh, yeah. I think he was talking to FINS TV when he was counting off those the other day when he was getting carried off. I am gloating a little bit about that. Nobody was rooting for him harder than me. But, McDaniel has this entire team operating in all three phases. Steve said it a moment ago, offense, defense. If the offense just can't punch it in, let's get special teams out there and we'll at least come away with some points. I don't care if they win by one on Sunday. Just win.
Just win, baby. More stats for Colin Cowherd on the Ask Clowns on the Carton Show. Tua Tagovailoa as the NFL leader with 4,214 yards. And, Brock Purdy is number 2 now. Brock Purdy certainly got hurt yesterday, so we'll see what happens. So, but I want to go to you, Eddie. The Dolphins were been critical. I've been critical, I can say to people myself, about some of the lapses of the coach. The coach sometimes not happy joy for my liking, but maybe I'm too old school. Maybe I'm I'm an old guy and I like another style of coaching. But certainly, coach look focused after the win. You can see that shot of him to the sideline walking to after that field goal. That guy certainly looks like he's focused. He has that Dolphins are certainly another level.
Yeah, I think we brought that up last week. We don't really know how he is off the field. I mean, he's sure they show him on Hard Knocks and he cusses all the time, but we don't know how hard he is on the players. I know they said he likes to bring the guys up instead of beat them down like the old Flores and Adam Gase technique. I'm going to cut 4 linemen during the middle of the week and that kind of stuff. So it's refreshing. I think he's a great coach. Like I said, he hasn't even been there 2 seasons. He's only going to get better. As for Cow Turd, he has the most punchable face on the TV. He really does. I'm sick of him. He's an idiot. How these people get TV shows, I guess it's because they're controversial.
Controversial.
I bet.
Yeah, you might get a show, Eddie. Yeah, you're controversial.
I guess. Well, we haven't beat a winning team on the road, or we haven't beat a winning team anywhere. They were saying, well, we didn't get to play any of the winning teams at home.
Mm-hmm.
They stuck us on the road for every. It's not like we're Kansas City and they shovel every hard team into their stadium. It's just we got to get over it. I definitely have to get over blaming coaches because they know a lot more than me. Fangio, I'm questioning him. He's probably one of the best defensive minds in the last 20 years. McDaniels, besides his fade into the end zone, which, is that driving me nuts? Throw it over the middle.
Again. I was so mad. Oh, crap.
Put Claypool in for that one. At least he can company's big something.
Yes.
Anyway,
if you only had it that, right?
I had no problems. It was a well coached game, well played game, and I'm happy. As for all them other guys, they're just. I think Steve brings it up all the time. As soon as anybody puts on a Dolphin uniform, all of a sudden they're not as good as they were in Kansas City or wherever. To knock Tua, his passer rating wasn't over 100 yesterday because like Steve said, they knocked points off for that fumble, the bad snap that he turned into a 21-yard play. That's an elite play. A lot of guys panic, throw it away, like Brock Purdy last night. How his passer rating isn't 60 for the whole year now, I don't know. That was some bad playing last night, but I don't know. And to say Lamar is way ahead of Tua, well, you go back and you look. Miami hasn't won a playoff game in 20 years. Fine. When's Lamar won a playoff game? He has not.
But if you got counter, he's a winner.
Oh yeah, wait. He was out last year in the playoffs. I guess he's injury prone. That's how we do that, right?
Absolutely. Well, certainly we now can talk playoffs and the updated playoff picture. The Dolphins right now are 100% to make the playoffs. We're celebrating the Dolphins the players in back-to-back years. 75% to win the division. 25% to be the number one seed. 49% to be the number two seed, and that can only be either the first seed, the second seed, or the sixth seed. There's no way they can be fourth or fifth or seventh seed. So that's kind of complicated. The Dolphins certainly need to win out. If they win out, the Dolphins, if they win out, Tua needs to be back in the MVP conversation for sure.
Can I just interject here that
please.
Eddie with receipts is my favorite Eddie.
I love it. Yes.
That's fantastic, Eddie. Every point you made is right on the nose. I can't emphasize how much the fade off in the corner. You finally figured out to run it. The last drive, you rode Wilson like he was a horse. That's winning football. I've said it before. Equally, the best and the worst thing that's happened this season is Tyreek catching that fade against the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you got it.
Yeah, it worked one time. Guys, there's a dude in your backfield that's got 21 touchdowns. Let's give it to him once or twice. And right now that's nitpicking. It's it really is. It's a great place to be in terms of first world problems is kind of the saying. So I'll take it.
Absolutely. Stephen, any last thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, to the theme of what we're talking about here, there's no question about it that the Dolphins are playing as a different team right now. And you ask, what have they done in December? Let's look year over year. They went winless last year. We played 4 games so far this December. We've won 3 of them, and we lost one of them that 9 times out of 10, we don't lose that with the team we have right now. But I really think the timing of that loss is going to be everything for what we're going to be doing from that point forward. And I don't care what they're doing for those meetings. I really, if it was me in Coach McDaniel's head for just a 5-minute snippet, it would be to show them a clip at the end of every Wednesday segment, Monday segment, whatever it is, of the Titans, to remind them what it was, what it felt like in that moment, to tap back into that, to say, this is why we're doing it. They have each their individual reasons. I really truly believe that Tyreek, Tua, Jalen, Ramsey, I don't think they care about the stat or the individual awards out there. I really truly believe that this team is playing with one goal in mind, and that is not to make the playoffs. It's not to win the AFC East or the conference. They want to win the Super Bowl, and that's how they're going about it.
Like I said, they play with the heart on the line. They're certainly look focused. They have a goal in mind. So next we're going to go to Overreaction. Rewind.
Yeah. Why do I feel like this is pointed at me?
No, I don't think
probably all of us.
Basically, I'm the person.
If Sammy's being fair.
First of all, Mike McDaniel we're going to look at the first overreaction of FINS TV Rewind. Mike McDaniel cannot win the big one. Well, we certainly talk back of how the media and I, for one, have some reservations about coach style during the big games on the road. But the Dolphins certainly yesterday found a way to look focused. So they came in the clutch. So we can look back. It was an overreaction on my part. Mike McDaniel could not be the weak one. Steve?
Me?
Yeah, no. What do you think of Mike? I overreacted about that, so take your shot at me. So I'm guilty of that.
You're the one. I had to go back through notes, and I didn't. I should have been like, oh my God, did I say that he couldn't win the big one? And you said that he couldn't? Here's the thing. He never had a chance with his team in place, with his quarterback in place, and what he's built. I mean, God, seriously, Greg Olsen is talking about him just still being in a phase of layering in additional pieces of this, and you thought that Mike McDaniel lacked the ability to win the big one? Shame on you, Sammy. Yeah, shame on you.
Shame on me. The walk of shame, the Sammy walk of shame. I have my reservations, but the guy seems focused yesterday. We might someday look back at that Tennessee game and think that was the best thing that ever happened to the Dolphins to lose that game. I was talking to someone yesterday say maybe if they win that Tennessee game, they lose yesterday, because the fact that they know what they lost. That loss really stemmed. And Matt, what are your thoughts about me failing by believing Mike McDaniel could not beat the weak ones?
Don't forget that you're talking and asking the glass overflowing part of this team here. I don't believe in the overreaction because I'm no different than you guys. I was just referencing the fade in the end zone, the why factor. But there's so much that goes on that we don't know about. And if we're going to rant about overreaction, we talked about Stephen A. Smith months ago talking about how Tyreek Tua can't throw long, and yet he's got the best yards per attempt in the league right now, or he's top 3. Tyreek doesn't have 1,600 plus yards this year because he's catching screen passes. So, I don't know that your overreaction, and I'm calling it that because I've sat here and talked to you and listened to you. I don't know that your overreaction is anywhere near what the media puts out there. And I'm talking about the real media, because they're doing it for one reason. You do it because you're speaking from the heart as a diehard, dyed-in-the-wool Miami Dolphins fan. That's who you are. That's who I am, Steve is, and Eddie is. But that's normal. For me, it's, the Titans game. The best thing that I did was turn the TV off, went to bed, woke up in the morning, and stayed off social media. Didn't turn on the TV, didn't turn on the radio. Before you knew it, it was Thursday, and we're starting to get ready for the next game. Overreaction is a part of the fan experience. I just think that, we should temper it with what can we do besides overreact, besides cheer, besides going nuts. We still have 2 regular season games to go and at least one more playoff game. Let's overreact in February.
Eddie, this is your chance, buddy. Take your shot, baby. My overreaction that Mike McDaniel could not beat the week and that his style was not working. Take your shot, buddy. I'm here.
You're making it hard. You Brian Flores loving SOB.
Oh no! Come on! I didn't need a kind of insult. Come on! I was the only one who said that Brian Flores was going to play was me. And that's true.
You've been way too hard on him. Well, what can I say? I overreact to every WhatsApp message and on Sunday every time. You guys need to cut me off. I need a mute button or I got to keep my phone in like 3 rooms away so I don't know because I'm getting sick of myself.
Hey, if we're going to be honest here, right now you're hitting it right on the head. Why I don't. There's one of us that's absent on Sundays. You know what I'm talking about,
Matt. Yep.
This is why. This is why right here. Absolutely think the world of all 3 of you, but the overreaction makes me go.
Well, I started to believe that Matt is a super agent. Between that and the one the light transmission from the parking lot, I'm starting to believe Matt is a super agent. Next, overreaction, physically rewind. The redundancy has run out. The Dolphins, we'll talk about how the Dolphins redundancy was running out, but they keep losing people and next man up, and during the game they keep losing people, but the next man up is always there. The offensive line has been decimated. Holland's still not playing, but they're finding a way. So even with the redundancy on the fin, the Dolphins keep finding a way to, for people to step up. Matt, we talked about the redundancy. We were afraid that it was running out, but the Dolphins certainly find a way to do the job.
Let's call a spade. I was the one who said it. I've said it a few times now that it was running out. So hit me, man. Come on, Matt. You were too damn nice to Sammy. Let me have it. I know you got some anger in there.
There's no anger at
Jesus.
all.
Somebody just kicked. I kicked a dog. Let me have it. Come on.
There's no anger at all. It's observations. It's opinions based on observations. Did the redundancy factor fall apart? I don't think so. Did it get stressed? Did it get pushed to the breaking limit? Maybe.
It has, yes.
Maybe. But what's the most critical part of this team? There's two, and you know what they are. They both have the word lines in them, offensive and defensive line. And when we're talking about redundancy factor, did it fall apart? Is it over? How many sacks did the Cowboys in their vaunted rushing attack have? 1. And I believe it was Cotton that gave that up. Okay. The redundancy factor is there. It's getting stressed. Jalen Waddle, I don't know. I haven't been really on social media today. So fingers crossed that that's going to be good. Craycraft was out this past week. I'm not really.
Sosa with a concussion.
Right. So that's where it's really going to get stressed there. Steve is always going to be the glasses not half full, Matt. I need you to look over here. I need you to look over here. But the reality is the redundancy pieces that they have in place, they're holding. The best thing that can happen to this team is win Sunday and win the next Sunday and have a week off before the divisional round. That's the best thing that could happen to this team. It's a bye week, and we really, really need it to get better.
Absolutely. Eddie, I know it's your turn, but I wanted you to give your time to Steve. So for a quick rebuttal. Steve?
Quick rebuttal? No. And I admit, I've said it a few times on here that ever since I've had the strong feeling that Brian Flores was an absolute fraud and didn't belong as a head coach in the NFL, or certainly not in South Beach, that I was on the helm of team prove me wrong. And they brought in Coach McDaniel, and I was like, hey, he's great. Seems really good. I thought Gase was great. I thought Flores was great. Prove me wrong. And I want reasons to believe. And the redundancy factor that Matt brought up that we've talked about ad nauseum on this show it's manifested itself over and over and over and over because we've had a need to. And I'm not going to lie. I went into this last game against Dallas expecting our offensive line to crumble. The reality is we still have Armstead, and he's an anchor in himself over there, but we are so thin across that offensive line. On the other side, Austin Jackson's beat up. I fully expected the opposite of what we saw. So I'm wrong. Call it an overreaction, call it whatever you want. I don't. Your head exploding over there, Matt. So I know Eddie. He's going to be up for artificial knees here really soon because of all the knee jerks that he has on a constant basis during game day and everything. But no, Matt, you're entirely right here. It's stretched, but we still have some time to get a couple people, one more person, I think, back off the IR, and see what we can do to just get into the playoffs here. And hopefully Chosen comes back. Hopefully Waddle's not out for too long, and we can have the next man up mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. Next on Overreaction, Vince A1, the overreaction, the Dolphins as frauds. It was Eddie who said that if the Dolphins were frauds, everybody was a fraud. So I'm going to start with Eddie. The media, this one, the media, everybody overreacted how the Dolphins were frauds. The Dolphins had some bad games of Buffalo and Philadelphia. They had a chance, definitely against the Chiefs, but the Dolphins have proved once and for all they're not frauds.
Not
Eddie.
at all. Mm-hmm. Not at all. We didn't go to we didn't get the luxury of going to Los Angeles, San Diego, and playing Easton Stick and a team without Keenan Allen and having to win at the end with a field goal. They got so many lucky breaks during that game. They should have lost that game, Buffalo. They should be embarrassed. The Raiders, who are playing well, and if they don't keep that coach, that's the dumbest owner in football. They already got rid of the one guy that got him to the playoff, and that guy's got them playing good. But that's a different. Thank you for beating the Chiefs. That was nice.
Take that on your Raiders podcast, Eddie.
Yeah, okay, you're right. That was the Taylor. That's the Taylor Swift. She's just bringing down the Chiefs. But anyways, yeah, it's something else. This team is definitely not a fraud. Teams lose each week to 2-10 teams, and they can say how great the Ravens are. But I believe Cleveland beat the Ravens and San Francisco, didn't they? Yeah, they did with backup players, so they can't be too great. Are they frauds? The San Fran a fraud from last night? I mean, I don't think so.
The Chiefs are the frauds.
They might
be. The Bills were frauds. We were frauds. Everybody's a fraud. They were spending the money about that. Matt, what about the media overreaction that the Dolphins are frauds? We're frauds. They won now they said that we won the fraud bowl. Come on.
Yeah, I saw somebody refer to that. The Cowboys have been perennial whipping boys, Cowboys whipping boys, because they've been called America's team for 50 years, right? For 40-something years, they've been America's team, self-proclaimed. I don't blame that team or their fan base for hanging on to that. But America's team hasn't done anything in, 96? I think 96, 95 was their last Super Bowl run. So, they've earned the fraud tag, if you will, because the same people calling them frauds are the ones that prop them up. I'll give you a perfect example of it. Duke University basketball every single year is declared to be the number one team in college basketball before they ever roll the balls out on the court in October for fall practice. And every single year they fall just like 60-something other teams fall by the wayside. Are they frauds? Probably not. They still have to play the game. But it's become chic to call the Dolphins fraud because they're flashy, the greatest show on surf, which I think is a great nickname. They get out there, they dance in the end zone after scoring their 5th touchdown of the half. They're having fun. They clearly love each other. So what is the natural reaction? Tear it down. They're frauds. They can't beat a team with a winning record. Well, you got to take that off. And like Eddie said, if they're a fraud, everybody's a fraud. And don't stop me. I'm on a tangent here. If you're going to call the Dolphins frauds because they can't beat anybody with a winning record, well, now they have. And as I said weeks ago, they've beaten every team they were supposed to. Congratulations, Titans. You pulled off a miracle. Way to go. You're in the NFL. That's what you're supposed to do. But are they frauds? Hell no, they're not frauds. That's just what the media likes to do to get those clicks.
Absolutely. Steve, Colin Cowter even went as far as calling the Dolphins a fake Gucci bag. Come on.
Nope. In a different timeline, the Dallas Cowboys won that game on Sunday, and the entire world is still dumping on the Dolphins but praising the Cowboys. Yep. That's how this works. Exactly. We're not going to get the praise. We're going to have to go out there and earn it. I don't give a damn if come the second week of February, we're having a Super Bowl parade and everybody is out there screaming and booing. There will be an entire Dolphins nation of people proud as hell of a team of frauds that were able to turn it out. And I don't care how many teams right now have captured playoff positions. 2 in the NFC, maybe 3 in the NFC, 4 or 5 total. One of them's the Dolphins.
Yes.
That's your fraud right there. I don't give a damn.
Absolutely. So we're going to move quickly, and next we're going to talk about the Ravens, where the Dolphins go to Baltimore at 1 p.m. this Sunday to face the Ravens. They pretty much up the Dolphins number 1 in total offense, number 1 in passing offense, 5th on rushing offense, 1st on scoring offense, and 4th in total defense, while the Ravens had the best passing running back in the game with a total of 15 running in total offense. 21st in passing defense and number 1 in rushing offense. They certainly have a very good defense. What would you expect? I want to start with Eddie. What are your expectations for the game against the Ravens?
It's going to be a physical game. Buckle up your chin strap. Get ready to try to run the ball, take some pressure off everybody. Pin your ears back. Make sure you put pressure up the middle on Lamar Jackson, not the ends. If you put him around the ends, he's either going to go by you or straight up the middle. Just got to keep. I don't know if you keep a spy on him or not. I guess you should, because I don't care what they say. He's still not, an elite passer. And them losing Mark Andrews way back, even though Likely's playing well, it's still a big loss. Watch out for Zay Flowers, because that man can run.
Yes.
You better watch out for that Fort Lauderdale prospect, because he's going to want to stick it to Miami just like every other guy from that area. But
usually always happens.
Yeah, it's going to be a physical game, and really looking forward to Chubb and Van Ginkel just knocking the crap out of Jackson.
Well, Fangio took that sabbatical, and he said that he was scheming a new defense. I don't know what happened to that. Hopefully, it was a way to stop those running quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Maybe a double spy will be nice. Matt, what are your thoughts about the upcoming game, huge game against the Ravens on Sunday?
Couple thoughts. Number one, you've made the playoffs. Now is not the time to let up. I firmly believe they have their eye on the prize. Steve mentioned a moment ago, their goal is to play in February. A second thing, and I meant to say it a moment ago, but in years past, we were in the hunt. 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 And we've got 2 games to go, and we're in the playoffs. So it's such a unique thing. If you want to call us frauds because we backed into a playoff spot, okay, but we earned that. And now the Ravens are. Let's not discount the fact that they're looking at their schedule, looking at film, and saying, "Hey, these guys are good." That defense, 52 sacks. Dak Prescott is a scrambling quarterback. Maybe not as much as Lamar is, but he certainly has wheels. And there have been others. Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a completely different. He's a unicorn. But this defense has 52 sacks. They lead the league in sacks. They have not seen a drop off since Jalen Phillips went out. I've got to believe that the Ravens are looking at the Dolphins just like us fans are looking at the Ravens and going, holy crap, this is going to be a pin your ears back, Eddie, dogfight. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a heck of a game. And I really think it's going to come down to who has the ball last. Not a shootout at all. I would not be surprised if this is similar to Sunday's game.
Absolutely. Steve, what are your thoughts about the game? It's going to be a huge game. Lamar Jackson certainly is a great athlete. The quarterback who wins the last 2 games is Josh Allen, Tua, or Lamar Jackson should be considered the MVP of the league, if you ask me.
Yeah, it definitely should be. And if it comes out to be Tua winning the Dolphins winning the last 2 games of the year, I fully expect the voters to find some reason to give it to somebody not named Tua. And I'm fine with that. Seriously, I don't care. We win the last 2 games of the year. We have a bye the first week, so I'll take it. But looking at this weekend, Lamar Jackson, watched him pretty closely Sunday night, Monday night. He is as advertised. How many times have we played these mobile quarterbacks who can split a defense and run? Or as I saw a couple times last night, he goes to run and that linebacker has to split from his zone coverage to go up to try to take him, and Lamar strikes him, or Josh Allen strikes whoever's right there in that gap, and that extends those drives, wears the defenses down and everything. Hands down, from a defensive standpoint, this is the biggest challenge. Actually, it's the biggest challenge our defense, the Dolphins defense, has played all year. including the Bills up in Orchard Park when we played them. I think that this is from a stretch the field. Somebody had said their tight end's name, Isaiah Likely, I think is his name. He's stepped in and he's really started to ball out. Zay Flowers, he's a rookie this year. Good God, he is good. He is sharp. He's got incredible moves. Whoever he lines up across from, I can't imagine that Fangio is going to change his scheme at all. So it's going to have to be the same exact thing, and it's just going to be relying upon who can be back there. It'd be really, really nice if Javon Holland can make it back this week. But going back to the defense on the Ravens side of it,
yes,
I really believe that they're going to come out with the same scheme that has troubled us so many times. There's a formula out there to slow down our offense, and I fully expect after last year of how we came back and won that shootout, I fully expect them to come out and find some way to really try to slow us down. So to my counterparts' credit here, we're going to have to establish the run, and we're just going to have to grind it out. If you look at the stats from a yard per game perspective, Miami is the better defense out there. But Miami has given up 37 touchdowns this year. The Ravens, 22. 22 touchdowns they've given up, and they've won. I think I saw the stat line earlier today tweeted around out there that they've won 7 games by 14 or more points. They put up points and they stop other teams from doing it. Miami's going to have to find a way on the road to really beat this one down. And I don't care if they come out by with a 1-point win, like Matt was saying earlier. Just come home with a win.
Absolutely. The Ravens deserve all the respect in the world, and Mike Jackson also. They're a top out. They have a great coach, but it's not an impossible feat. The Dolphins certainly can win this game. So next we're going to go to the big finish and the top 5 power rankings. The top 5 power rankings again a mess. I would not take it. I would not care. I would understand if any of you don't have a top 5 for this week. It's just a mess. But I have the Ravens at number 1, the Miami Dolphins at number 2. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, their Sergio Stores at number 1. The Lions at number 3. The Bills have to be at number 4. The prime grade, and the Cleveland Browns. Eddie's Cleveland Browns at number 5. Any of you who has a top 5 power rankings for the week?
Eddie, Matt, Eddie.
I'll go.
Go.
I got the Ravens, number 1. The Lions, number 2. The Browns, number 3. Yes, the Browns are number 3. I have San Francisco, number 4. And I'm not putting Miami in my top 5 yet.
It's working.
Yep, that's exactly why I'm doing it. We'll go with Buffalo.
Okay. How about you, Matt? Do you have a top 5?
Yeah, I do. I've routinely kept the Dolphins at 5th. I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to go ahead and put the Niners at 4. That wasn't the Niners last night. Who knows what? Maybe that was the same thing as the Dolphins playing the Titans. Just bad day at work, right?
It happens.
I'm going to go ahead and put the Eagles at number 3. The Lions at number 2. And the Ravens at number 1.
How are you, Steve?
Okay. We've got the Ravens at number 1. They just went out to the West Coast and absolutely handled business out there. And I'm going to totally break out from what I've been doing in the past. I'm going to put the Dolphins at number 2, and here's why. Because this is the number 1, number 2 teams in the AFC, which I think is the dominant conference right now, especially looking at the way the Philly Eagles have been playing. The 49ers can't be beat. That got proven last night, and they got beat around a lot last night. So if and when the Dolphins go in there and win, they will be beating Steve Hallett's number 1 team, the Ravens, in the power rankings for this week. Number 3, the Browns. Man, we've been talking about it for a long time. They just needed a quarterback, and man, they found a Trent Dilfer-style quarterback to complement a defense that absolutely dominates week in and week out. So they're at number 3. 49ers, they did get beat around last night, but they're at number 4. And then I'm going to put the Dallas Cowboys in at number 5 because, damn it, the Dolphins beat a top 5 defense or team in Steve Hallett's power rankings. So there you go.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a great year for the Dolphins. It's the last show, probably the last show of the year. Any last thoughts about how this year has survived for the Dolphins?
I predicted undefeated, and I'm not far off.
Yes, that's right. You predicted undefeated. Well, guys, I wanna thank you. Last week you had 2 straight weeks of over 7,000 views on our feature for the week. A lot of people watching the live stream today. The new people. We wanna thank you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We're gonna see you certainly this week, and don't forget, as always, that when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. Fins up.
Fins up, guys. Take care.
Thanks, guys.